gratitude, and highest heart love. Thank you for joining the YouTube book reading of The Healing Power of Water by Dr. Masaru Emoto. I'm your moderator and narrator, Uriel NEVEU. Welcome all. Welcome. We pick up chapter 17. Page 225. This is awesome. All right. Chalice Well, Glastonbury. Chapter 17. The English landscape is known for its rolling and soft beauty and for its unexpected and spectacular vistas. You may turn a corner or reach a peak, and suddenly, unfolding far into the distance, is a long and intriguing view. One of the greatest of these vistas can be found when you travel south from Bristol and Bath in the west of England. As you pass over the top of the Mendip Hills, before you stretches the large plain of the mid Somerset levels. This is a flat landscape, some 15 miles across, which at several points its history has been covered in water, and may be again. At the center of this flat land is an island whose most prominent feature is a dramatic 500-foot hill with a tap upon its summit. This is Glastonbury, also known as the Isle of Avalon. It's one of the most sacred landscapes in Europe. It's the burial place of King Arthur and Queen Guinevere, and the Holy Grail is said to be hidden there. It was a major center of Druidic and pre Christian spirituality. In the shape of an isle can be found the form of a great goddess, while a vast zodiac can be seen in the landscape surrounding it, carved into the contours of the land. It's the site of the earliest of Christian churches founded, so the legend goes, by Jesus' uncle Joseph of Arimathea. This small church evolved to become the greatest abbey in all Christendom. The Isle of Avalon, also called the Isle of Glass, was also said to be the capital city of the fairy realm, a great claim for a country known as Angel Land or England. The island of Glastonbury is made up of several hills. Three of them are well known: Uriel Hill, Chalice Hill, and the Tor. Page 226. Each of these has a very different shape and atmosphere. Uriel is long and slim, like a fish, and is known as a place that's good for peace and reflection. Chalice Hill is soft and round, shaped like a breast or pregnant womb, and holds an atmosphere of healing. The Tor is masculine and dramatic, accentuated by its tower, and its energy is powerful and dynamic. People often comment on how these three hills and their characters reflect the Trinity found in many spiritual traditions. The small town of Glastonbury itself sprawls on the island overlit by these hills, its inhabitants divided into those who honor the spirituality of the landscape. I'm one of them, and lucky enough to live on the side of Uriel Hill, and those who live there as if it were any other small country town. One of Glastonbury's most intriguing features is to be found in the valley between Chalice Hill and the Tor, down which runs a small road. Near the bottom of this road, on the right side towards Chalice Hill, there's a lovingly tended public garden, the main feature of which is the Chalice Well, previously known as Blood Spring. On the other side of the road is a nondescript building, is the White Spring. The waters for each of these two springs have unique sources, and their chemical content is completely different. I've lived in Glastonbury for 30 years and am fascinated by the polarity and paradox of these two wells. Their contrast is so great that many people who visit Chalice Well Gardens for nature, for nurture, inspiration, and meditation may not even know that the White Spring exists at all. Peace, everyone. Hi, it's Heart Love. Welcome to the YouTube book reading of The Healing Power of Water. We're now in the 17th chapter, Chalice Well Glastonbury, down at the bottom of page 226. The water of Chalice Well, Blood Spring, is good for the health. It has an iron content similar to that of human blood, and the flow runs strong and consistently even in periods of drought. As the water surfaces out of the earth, the way in which it's contained and then channeled has been lovingly constructed by human intervention over many centuries. The actual source of the water, the well itself, is capped by a large lid, on which is the ancient symbol of two interlinking circles, the Vesica Pisces. The water then runs through a lion's head, down through some shallow baths for healing, through a Steiner-inspired flow form, and into a large pool, again in the shape of the Visca Pisces. The surrounding gardens are tended by men and women sensitive to the elements of nature, the green man, Pan, and the goddess, as well as to the fairies, nature's spirits, and landscape energies. Here's Chalice Well. Here's a pitch. Peace, bro. Peace, family. Hi, it's Heart Love. See, this is Chalice Well. We are reading The Healing Power of Water by Dr. Masaru Emoto. The White Spring, however, has a certain chaos surrounding it, and the human involvement often seems harsh in my opinion. This may, of course, be totally appropriate, a perfect balance. Many people have a simple relationship with Chalice Well. They just love it and are grateful for its peace. They quench their thirst and enjoy the atmosphere, flowing water, and the garden's nature spirits. My relationship with the well is more complex. The whole landscape of Glastonbury is filled with symbolism and meaning. For many of its citizens, it's like living inside a pack of tarot cards, each aspect of its landscape filled with metaphor and significance. Peace, everyone. Awesome. Oh, thank you. Peace, peace. Hi, it's Heart Love. They quench their thirst and enjoy the atmosphere of flowing water and the garden's nature spirits. My relationship is, well, more complex. Mhm. What then is the role of Chalice well? How intriguing that it flows with blood between the polarities of Chalice Hill and the Tor. Is this the blood of Christ from the hidden grail? From the goddess? The water comes from a deep and powerful, consistent source. Sometimes I imagine this to be the heart of a great dragon miles below the earth. But why does the creature release some of its blood here? What's the connection? It's interesting to sit in the garden and contemplate the origins of the flow deep in the earth. Water is alive, not just in its molecular and subatomic structure, but also in the forms it takes. Rivers, lakes, seas, oceans, wells, and springs are all beings in their own right. Who is this being who surfaces at Chalice Well? Of course, this type of question is well asked of any body of water. But first, the inquirer must pause and form a relationship with the water. I often wonder what Blood Spring looked like before any human being had begun to organize it. Its geology isn't rocky or hard. I imagine there was a mud and bubbling. It would have spread into the surrounding grassland and then perhaps channeled away in several directions, uncontrolled, free, and natural. Peace. To the human eye, concerned with a civilized aesthetic sensibility, the messiness of mud and an endless oozing and spreading may seem unattractive compared to the form of a well-tended garden. But it's good for people to play with mud and experience the primal sensations. There's no tended garden in a mother's womb, but the environment is luscious and perfect. So sometimes a primal part of me feels a haunted loss when I encounter the neatness and containment of the well and its gardens. But I also recognize a practical need for easier access to the water. I understand why Blood Spring transformed into Chalice Well. I appreciate the beauty of gardens created by humanity and rapport with nature. There is, however, another issue for me. It has to do with spirits. I wonder when the blood spring waters contained and channeled, whether people offered prayers and ceremonies to ask permission of the spirits of the water and of the land. I wonder whether the great creatures whole whose the whole form and being of this powerful source was ever courted. At every successive stage of the well's construction down the centuries, did the builders have the sensitivity and courtesy to continue these ceremonies and communications of permission and gratitude? When I first encountered Chalice Well many years ago, ceremonies weren't happening, and the first warden of the well, who I knew, wasn't a happy man. The atmosphere of the gardens was strained. Over recent decades, however, the culture of the custodianship has transferred into one that's attuned to and respectful of the nature spirits, the earth energies, and the life of the water itself. Instinctively and lovingly, ceremonies and communications are happening today, and the governing community of the well is generally, I gather, harmonious. There has been a healing here of the relationship between humans and the spirits of this water. To me, the spirits of this water seem happy now. There's still perhaps some healing needed in the bigger picture. And in this relationship with the white spring, but I feel confident that this will come too. All this is a lesson, one that's echoing through this entire book. We need to reawaken our care for and relationship with nature and the elements. Without us, the elements flow, explode, emerge, cycle, recycle, die, and are reborn. This is the dance of life. With water, it's all so visible and touchable. The movement, the play, and the power. We love water, but meaningful love is always in action. Bottom of page 229, that completes chapter 17 of The Healing Power of Water by Dr. Masaru Emoto. This particular section was written by William Bloom, PhD. Thank you so much for reading with us. We will continue back with chapter 18, The Dreaming Pool of Bath. All right, when we pick up, beautiful day, loads of love and healing to all the readers, lovers of life. We honor you. We are doing it. Passing this baton, right? That's what we got to do. Pass this baton around. The champions of life. We love life. Highest heart, love, and honor. Peace. Thank you for reading with us. This part of YouTube where we read, learn, show love and honor to one another. Yes. Thank you. Oh my goodness. Yes, you can have a shout out. Highest heart, love, talent. Yes, we doing it. This is the love life. Thank you so much. Highest heart, love. Have a wonderful day, and I will speak to you guys soon, okay? Y'all enjoy. Peace.